Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotments. You've joined me here today on a pretty cold, pretty grey day. You know, it was nice and sunny, blue skies this morning, but certainly not now, and it's probably 2 or 3 degrees if I'm lucky, so that's why I'm properly sort of rugged up here in this big coat and scarf and everything else. So actually perfect for talking about, but even better for tasting some whiskey, because I really need to warm up. So with that in mind, what is the Allotment Dram today, I hear you ask? Well, we're looking at another new release. It actually came out just in October last year, and it is the Cutty Sark, 12 years old. So this is a lovely classic old blended whiskey, a new expression into the range. But what can I tell you about Cutty Sark? It's very close, it's approaching its centenary actually. It was first launched in March 1923, and so obviously March next year, just over a year's time, it will be 100 years old. Launched out of Berry Brothers and Rudd, the very famous wine and spirits merchant in central London. They were the oldest wine and spirits merchant in central London, dating back to 1700s. But the story goes that it was kind of conceived during a slightly sort of boozy lunch that the two of the senior guys at Berry Brothers, hello, that's Trevor, my neighbour, just waving at me. So yeah, nice guy. Sorry about that. That's what I like about this. You get interrupted by sort of people, wildlife, weather, other stuff. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so slightly boozy lunch, but it's two senior guys, so Francis Berry and Hugh Rudd, both descendants of the original founders actually. And they were having this lunch with Scottish artist James McBay, and we're talking about launching a whiskey and so on, and sort of legend has it that James McBay started doodling on a napkin the sort of picture of a ship, like the Cutty Sark, when they were talking about what it should be called, and the rest is history, as they say. And so Cutty Sark is obviously the famous tea clipper. It went all over the world, collecting sort of tea, spices and so on, bringing them back to the UK, and now sits in Greenwich in like a dry dock. You can go and visit it, sort of very, very interesting. But Cutty Sark was really developed, really took off, once Prohibition finished in the United States, so less than 10 years after it had been launched, and it really took off and is remains one of the world's best-selling blended Scotch whiskies actually, well within the top 10 for sales. And very recently, in 2018, it was sold to a company called Le Martiniquez, and they've relaunched this 12 years old, because there was an old 12 years old which we, from the previous owner, which we tried, maybe must be 7 or 8 years ago easily. And this was relaunched in October last year. It's at 40%, and it's very well priced actually. Most places I had a look when I was researching this, it was around £25, certainly no more than sort of 28, 29. So very, very sort of decent in terms of the price. And the regular Cutty Sark is quite light, quite delicate. That's why it's so popular, particularly in sort of warm climates. It's very popular in places like Spain and sort of Asia and so on, where you get hot temperatures. So it's quite light, it's quite refreshing. But what they say about this one is that they've upped the percentage of sherry cask in here. So as I say, we've not opened it. I'm literally going to open it for you now. So you'd expect it to be a little bit richer, a little bit sort of deeper, maybe a bit sweeter as well. So I think without further ado, let's crack it open and have a go. So, there we go. Always like it when it kind of splits halfway around, you know. You're never quite sure whether you're going to get into it or not. Jeez, that's quite tight. There we go. Lovely. So here we are, look at that. Ooh, quite a nice colour. Sort of deepish gold colour there. Just pop that back on. Okay, let's have a look at that. Yeah, lovely sort of vibrant gold colour. Let's have a smell. Oh yeah, that's very fragrant actually. There's lots of sort of green apple, and there's sort of like a golden syrup, maybe a hint of butterscotch. But yeah, lots of dried fruit, you know, particularly like sort of juicy sultanas, raisins. Definitely some like candied orange and lemon peel in there as well. Very, very nice. A bit of vanilla coming through now. Very delicious, quite enticing actually. So I think without further ado, I'm not going to wait, I'm just going to taste it now. So cheers everyone. That's so soft, so gentle. I mean, from what I remember about the regular Cutty Sark, it was very creamy, very soft, delicate. This has that as well. It does have a bit more richness. It's got particularly those dried fruits coming through very nicely. Juicy sultana, raisins, maybe some currants as well, and then quite a lot of this candied orange peel. It gives it a slight bitterness sort of towards the end. You know, now I've swallowed and it's sort of been hanging around for like a minute or so. It's getting a touch bitter there. There's a bit of oakiness coming through. It's quite creamy, but then again sort of these late sort of oaky, woody spices. A bit of baking spice in there as well. Definitely a pinch of cinnamon, allspice in there. But let's have another taste. Very, very nice indeed. This time I'm getting more of this sort of green apple. It's getting some that golden syrup that I mentioned on the nose. But yeah, these juicy dried fruits, like just think of big plump sultana. It's right there, and then this sort of late, sort of bitter orange and a bit of sort of warming baking spice, maybe a hint of even like gingerbread or something like that. So yeah, delicious. So yeah, I can't really remember much about the previous owner's version of the 12, but this is a very, very nice version from Le Martiniquez, and obviously with 12 years old, that's the minimum age of the whiskey. So that, you know, there's probably maybe some 13, 14, even 15-year-old whiskey sort of in this to give it this depth and this structure. But yeah, very, very good, and that presents very well for a £25, you know, maximum £30. You know, it presents very well for that sort of budget of whiskey. You know, there's a lot going on there. Very, very nice indeed. So I think that's probably about it from myself and the Cutty Sark 12 years old. We will probably bid you farewell and let you get on with whatever you were doing before you happen to stumble across this video. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you again very soon for another Allotment Dram. Cheers now.